where you don't really see yourself crossing that gap. Like there's something missing. Not that there's anything wrong, because trust me, there's nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with your business. There's nothing wrong with the products you're selling. There's nothing wrong with you as a leader in corporate America. There's nothing wrong with nothing. There's simply things that are missing. And there's a gap, right? Here you are, right? You have these goals, and here is this gap, and it's actually like a bridge, and there's the accomplishments, right? So, how do we get to fill in the gap? And that's really where most of us are so frustrated. We have great ideas, we have great potential, we believe in ourselves and have confidence, and that we know that we can do a thing. Fear does creep in, and fear does have its way of being, in our space, but it's not fear. You're not afraid. There's nothing wrong with you. There's just something missing that you deserve to have so that you can cross over. So, Jim Ron, I love Jim Ron. He has been teaching me and discipling me for years. And Jim Ron has this famous quote, and I dare not to say that it's wrong, but I do dare to say that it's incomplete. So, Jim Ron has this quote, and he says, um, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments, right? And I'm not saying that that's wrong, not at all. That's Jim Rohn. He could never be wrong. But I do say that it's incomplete because of this. A lot of people struggle with, well, how do I become disciplined? And then they struggle with, I need to be more disciplined. I have to be more disciplined. And they start beating themselves up about being disciplined. And what I want to share with you all is that there's just a missing piece to that equation that would make, how would you love to just automatically, by default, be disciplined? Like if there was a magic button, a trick that I can just set off in your head and automatically you'll be more disciplined. How would that really, really not only change, but transform your life? If you can have something in a system, in a place that'll help you bridge that gap so that you can be on that bridge between discipline and accomplishments, right? And that's what we're going to discover in this mastermind together. You're going to discover it for yourself. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to give it to you. It's not something you're going to discover it. And when that shift happens, right, that paradigm shifts happens for you, you'll be forever altered in who you know yourself to be. You will be that person that it's automatically by default because of this one tool that we're going to learn. You're going to by default be disciplined. That right there is worth the whole masterclass. Just that right there. So in the book that we're gonna be going through in the mastermind, it's gonna be the 15 invaluable laws of growth. And in this book, John C. Maxwell talks about one of the laws, and it has to do with consistency. And that, my friend, is one of the secrets. It is one of the key components to getting in that gap, to bridging you between discipline and accomplishments. And what he talks about is so good because it's really a question of how, who would you be if you threw your whole self and you were committed to really being consistent in what it is that you want to grow through, right? What would that look like? And a lot of times it's just like there's no clarity. We don't know. So if you're blind, you can't go fast, right? But if you discover and you have some clarity and then you have a plan, you can execute it like it's nobody's business. But what's missing is the clarity. And some of you are even saying, no, no, Francisca, I'm missing self confidence. Let me tell you, I remember that was me. And it wasn't the self confidence that was missing, it was the clarity for me. When I got the clarity, I was able to then know where I was going. And then things started happening in my business, things started happening in my marriage, things started happening in my ministry because I was clear, I was focused, I was able to see. And then things shifted, and it was just like bam, 10x quantum leaps, just jumping over things, having these hind legs and just going over things, hurdles like that before were stopping me. Little pebbles used to stop me. And once I got these tools and this understanding and this paradigm shift and those breakthroughs, I started going through these giant hurdles like they were just little stones in the way and just moving them out the way and just going, being unstoppable. So that's what I want to be able to be with you in this mastermind class. That is what we're going to go through. We're going to go through discovering your clarity, discovering your personal growth plan for whatever area it is that you want to grow in. It doesn't have to be business. It can be something as you want to just grow better as a student. You want to grow better as a wife. You want to grow better as a person in career, as a management position, someone who's, going out there and saying, you know what? I'm tired of corporate America. I want to be an individual that works for herself, whether it's entrepreneurship or there's other things out there that you can discover for yourself. Trades, there's real estate agents, there's health insurance agents, there's travel agents, right? There's HVAC licensed technicians, mechanics, all walks of area, all walks of life. It doesn't matter what you're up to. You can be a housewife, a homemaker, and nowadays, it's even harder because some people are really drastically considering homeschooling. So now you're going to be a teacher, a mom, a cook. Listen, the homeowners, the stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads, the parents that work from home, you need this more than anyone because it's a structure, it's a system. If you have the systems in place, life becomes more simple. Not that it becomes easier, but it becomes more simpler. And things that we stress over will be a thing of the past. It'll be disappeared because we'll put systems and tools and you'll have knowledge and you'll have distinctions and you'll have what you need to be successful in every area of your life. Because that one area that you're focusing on, that one area that's sucking you dry, right? That one area that you're really worried about, I guarantee that when that one area, it's the way you do everything in your life. It's not just that one area. So when that one area, we were discussing the other day about when we ask God to fix something in our lives, right? And he fixes something totally different. And you're like, no, we don't want you to fix that over there. I want you to get to this over here. But what we can't understand because we're living in the dark, in the blind spot, is that fixing this over here is actually when we are able to see what's missing and put it into place. There's not actually a fixing that you need. There's nothing broken, right? You know how they say if it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, it's actually the truth. If it's not broken, don't fix it because it may not. Can I just suggest to you one thing? Can I just hand you over something that maybe it's not something that you need to fix? Maybe there's nothing broken. Maybe there's nothing that's wrong. But have you ever considered that there's just something that may be missing? That if we put it into place, it would really make such a difference that it would then alter not only this over here, but it will alter everything. It will be like a domino effect just by looking at what's missing. And I want to be able to help you discover that for yourself in the area that you're going to choose to bring to go to work on in the mastermind class. So, with the area of consistency, it's like, you know, do you constantly procrastinate? Or do you constantly procrastinate? Let's get more specific. Do you constantly procrastinate on important tasks? Like maybe you're not a procrastinator per se, but maybe when something's really big or really important, you procrastinate. Have you ever asked yourself where does that come from? What's the root of that procrastination? So that if we can get to the root, we can uproot it, and then you can have a defense and a defense mechanism on how, when you find yourself procrastinating, what you can do to snap yourself out of it and begin to do the very thing that you're procrastinating. Yeah, that's what we're going to learn in the mastermind class. Or what if this? What if, do you perform duties just to get by? Like, do you just see yourself? I was just coaching someone today and she was doing the same exact thing. And it's funny because I coached her on it and she really got to discover it for herself. Do you just do things just to say, I got it done? I want you to know that there's such a difference in if you do something just because to say, I got it done, then when you really, truly, wholeheartedly put your all into it and you really, it's almost like the difference between a fast food meal and a fine cuisine, right? When grandmom does that gumbo from scratch, it just tastes different than if you buy it at a Popeyes or Gymboree or whatever, a fast food restaurant that's trying to imitate, that. It doesn't taste the same. It doesn't even digest the same. It doesn't even feel the same, right? So think about that. And do you constantly talk negative about your work, about your self talk? Like the person who we spend the most time with is us. So we really have to be mindful and think about what we're thinking about. That is a part of the 6 step system that we're going to incorporate in the mastermind class. So the 6 step system, which is the thanks formed, the thanks acronym and the thanks formation station that I put together for thanks formed. We're going to collaborate thanks form 6 step system with the mastermind class, and you're going to see how the system and the class and the mastermind class featuring the book, okay, featuring the 15 invaluable laws of growth, it's going to be a combination that's going to be able to rock your world. That's going to give you the paradigm shift. That's going to change the whole trajectory of where you're going and what you're doing in life. And that's going to give you the quantum leaps to just be like moving past these things. So those are some questions. And it's all about the questions. Sometimes you just want to be like, I need more information. I just want to know more. I just listen, knowledge is good. It's a part of life, right? But knowledge comes by, you can study a book, you can read a book, you can go to school. But wisdom comes by impartation. And see, there's a way of learning that we've been traditionally trained, like how we learned to go to school, how we learned our ABCs, our one, two, threes, addition, subtraction. All that is fine and dandy. We need that. It's necessary. But there's something different when it comes to transformative learning, to being able to discover something, to have these scales taken off of your eyes, to have these blind spots removed. So it's not teaching you nothing new. What I do as a transformational coach and what we're going to do in this mastermind class together is that we're going to discover those blind spots. So we're going to transform and see what's even better about transformation than it is to just make a change. When we change, we can be subject to change right back. Like if you ever seen a chameleon, when you put it on one surface, it changes to the color of that surface, and then you put it on another surface and it'll change to another surface and it'll keep changing. But transformation, a butterfly that goes through the process of the metamorphosis, it's forever altered. It never goes back to being a caterpillar. And that's what I'm offering for you in this mastermind class. So I'm excited to get started with you. I'm excited to have you. We have 10 spots yet available. We're going to do this together. We're going to partner up with the buddy. So you're going to have an accountability partner. You're going to have me as your coach and your guide. And we're going to have the great resource of the mastermind book, author of the John C. Maxwell 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. You're going to have my expertise and my knowledge and my system, my thanks system. It's going to help put it all into perspective for you to set you up powerfully for ending this year and beginning the new year with your goals already ahead of the game. You're going to already be ahead of everyone else. When people are starting their new year, new them in January, in February, in March, guess what? You already started now. So you already have a new year before the new year starts because you're going to have a plan, you're going to have a system, you're going to be empowered, you're going to be held accountable, and you're just going to be magical. Breakthroughs are for you in this program. So I'm excited to see you there. Click the link below, sign up, register. You don't got nothing to lose. Let me tell you something. It costs nothing to do something, but it will cost you everything if you do nothing. And you will continue to go around the mountain for the next 40 years. And I'm telling you, there's no shortcut. There is just a guide. See, you can take a shortcut and still be lost in the wilderness. But if you have a guide that knows the shortcuts and that's handing you the system, man, we're doing half the work for you. That's what it's about. It's about paying it forward. So, whatever we went through in our discovery and our transformation, what we want to do is pay it forward so that you can 10x yours and you don't have to go through half the stuff that we went through. You can just go and be great. So, I love you guys. I look forward to hearing from you. Take a look at the mastermind program that I'm offering down in the link below in the comments, and I'll see you on the other side. Take care.